Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome, everybody,
to the Bourbon Study.
at the tasting room.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're doing.
It's like, what, Rhodey and Nebula? So he's an idiot.
So he's in it, yeah.
What are we tasting today, Ryan?
We're going with one of our favorite, what has become one of our favorite distilleries, I feel like, which is Rabbit Hole. And
They
today,
love to innovate, man. This is the thing about Rabbit Hole. This is what sets them apart. Their marketing is like none other.
Yeah.
All of their stuff is like, if you want a Valentine's ad, it's like candy corns, and there's
not candy corn, candy hearts.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's no like guys in suspenders and
Yeah.
handlebar mustaches. They're really reinventing.
Very trendy.
They're on trend.
Yeah,
exactly. But they have a lot of women involved in their distillery. They have just like they feature a lot of stories about unique and interesting people that are involved with the different blends, and it's refreshing.
Yeah.
When you see, like we talked about Henry McKenna, and you're like, well, he's another white guy who moved here in the 1800s to find water that was limestone distilled, and so I feel like Rabbit Hole is like sort of breaking stigmas in a way that we, appreciate because of the Ampliverse. It's very inclusive.
Yeah, and it's really not that old in comparison to a lot of places we talk about, because it started in 2012, so it's not even 10 years yet.
And they did rebrand a bit about 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
Because they originally had like just Rabbit Hole and then the different expressions, and then they have since done all of this rebranding with naming each of the expressions specific things: Heigold, Cave Hill, Derringer, Boxer
Rail, yeah. Today we're trying Rabbit Hole Heigold, and what is special about Heigold?
I don't remember. I have to read it because I know that.
We need our dry erase book.
Heigold is their standard bourbon, so where the Derringer is the PX,
finished in sherry cask,
casks. The Cave Hill is 4 grain, so this is their like standard bourbon components, but. It says 70% corn, 25% malted barley. Malted rye and 5% malted barley. So the thing about this is that it's not just corn, rye, barley. It's corn, malted rye, and malted barley. So they're using 2 malted spirits in with the corn.
So I wonder if it's going to have that like beer. I'm not as super familiar with this. The Derringer I'm very familiar with, but this one I'm like.
The Cave Hill, has those like honey fig flavors.
Yeah.
Because that one's the 4 grain. That one they do corn, malted barley, malted rye, and honey malted barley.
Well, let's do it. Let's try this one.
Yeah.
Very smooth.
It's like smoother than it smells. And that's usually things are the other way around. You get that instant nose of like a lot of caramel and vanilla. And then on the flavor, you're like, ooh, it didn't deliver on those things. I feel like this one almost like under promises and over delivers on the flavor. You get the smell and you're like, a little bit of corn, a little bit of caramel, vanilla, and then you taste it and you're like, where did all that stuff come from? That didn't smell anything like that.
Yeah, it's like the second it hits your tongue, it's got this like sweet, like little liquidy candy kind of taste to it.
I think that's
but not sweet.
I think that's attributed to the malted rye.
Yeah.
Because remember, we had the Angel's Envy, which was 95% rye, and that one tasted like pancakes. So I think that this one is, how much rye? 25% rye. So this is pretty high rye. It's got
like a sweetness in it, but without me saying this is sweet.
Without being syrupy.
Yeah, without being syrupy. Like it's a very pure, innocent sweet. That was creepy.
And I know, like, Rabbit Hole has the little bunny on the thing. The whole thing is their, like, Alice in Wonderland vibe. And it's sort of true in the flavor of the Heigold specifically, which is their flagship standard bourbon, that you get those immediate, you're like, oh, what's this little rabbit hole? And then you sort of dive in, and it's like, what the f***? There's like...
Or not.
No, I mean, you're like, this upside down.
Twice you swore now. I have to bleep the bad words out.
Okay, I'll say it again in a non-sweary way. It's sort of like you sniff it and you go, oh, what's that is there some sort of hole over there in the forest?
I don't think this is getting better.
In the forest! I said specifically a forest hole! You take a sip and then you're like, oh, there's all this wondrous stuff going on. There's checkered floor and weird eat me cookies and like strange looking creatures.
This has a hug, a little bit of a hug, yeah.
But I think what I'm saying, the overarching statement,
yes,
is that you sniff it and you go, okay.
And then you try the sip, and it's just an
and it
brings you down that rabbit hole into all those flavors, all these like crazy kind of things that you're. I think you put it perfectly when you said it like the overperforms, like you get a little more than you expect based on the smell.
The nose under promises, and then it over delivers on the flavor.
Yeah.
For what you think you're gonna get.
This is a really nice sipping bourbon, but not one that I don't think I'd be afraid to put it in a mixed drink.
No, I wouldn't be afraid to mix it, but it should be a complementary either thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be great. I think this would pair really well with fruit forward drinks, but also this is great.
Let me ask you this. What about with the stroopwafel? Because I'm thinking the caramel in this. Yeah. Caramel vanilla with that like caramel vanilla cookie maybe.
You and your stroops.
I love that stroopwafel. Guys, if you have not had the stroopwafel liquor, it's like that white bottle. It's like $12.
Buy the stroopwafel. If anybody
if you're not even a drinker, you can just smell it. It smells amazing.
Are you aware we have stroopwafels here at the house?
Literal waffles?
Literal ones?
Well, I know what we're doing after this.
Wait, we should try it with the...
Oh, that's a good idea. I've never had one microwave before.
Well, that's how you're supposed to serve them.
Are you?
Yeah, it says right on the package, microwave.
Here's the thing. I've only ever had a stroopwafel here. You've never microwaved it for me before.
Well, it's because I didn't read the package.
We're back. The stroopwafels.
So we actually had stroopwafels, which is basically like a little waffle cookie that's filled with like a caramel.
This guy.
Filling.
You recognize him.
Yeah.
I'll burn my little fingy.
That's nice.
Caramel's one of those things that third degree burns.
This is delicious, by the way.
The stroopwafel with this, that is your evening.
That's a whole...
That's a whole mood.
If you are looking to like have a romantic evening out with yourself...
Yeah.
Stroopwafels and Heigold.
I'm gonna take myself on a stroopwafel day tonight. Well, we can't say enough good things about Rabbit Hole.
But honestly, like I said, it's that they're taking what we know to be true about bourbon, about whiskey making, all of those things, and they're sort of like not flipping them on their head. They're not going like 180, but they're
injecting it with just enough like fun and uniqueness.
Fun.
Flair, that's a good word.
A little bit like unique procedures with standard bourbon whiskey making. So I love it. And I am so excited to see what they offer in the future.
This is a $50 bottle?
Yeah, this one in the Cave Hill are around 50
I think they're the less expensive, yeah.
The Derringer is up like 70, 80.
Yeah, I think it's in the 70 range, yeah. But I definitely think, cheap person, I definitely think these are this brand is worth it. I honestly, the only one I haven't had yet as recording this is the Boxer Grail, and I will say every one I've had is definitely worth it. But I'm excited that we can keep bringing these expressions on through the Bourbon Study, through the tasting room, and hopefully someday in the future we can get someone from Rabbit Hole to be in a little tasting with us. We have that.
Would be cool.
We have that on there. So Adam, if you watch this, we're excited to have you eventually.
All right, that is the Rabbit Hole Heigold. This is their flagship straight Kentucky bourbon, high rye, so 25% rye and 70% corn.
Give it a try. Let us know what you think. Let us know what bourbons you're trying, what you're drinking. Leave some comments below. If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And of course, you can keep us in our drinking habits by visiting the Patreon, which is patreon.com/thebourbonstudy. We do a lot of fun videos over on there. Well, you can check that out, patreon.com/thebourbonstudy. And that's going to do it. So we'll see you with the drink with this one.
Cheers. We already drank it. But
yeah, there's no cheers to be had today.
There's no cheers to be had.
Nobody knows your name.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.